that presentation that was just rushed through at the beginning of this session has to be the most uncomfortable presentation I've ever seen at RIPTA. It's abundantly clear by now that this plan makes things worse for transit. It spends money that was supposed to be used for improving transit on making transit worse. And even the list of stakeholder outreach things that were done in that document lists several stakeholders, like the Providence Foundation first. It's in chronological order. They list the insider stakeholders first and only get to the riders later on in the list, just before it was released to the media. The only time our rider group was contacted was one day before it was released to the media. When RIPTA has done good plans in the past, they've had hearings for riders in every county, making sure you reach different populations of riders. If you are going to do serious outreach on a better plan that's not about destroying transit, you should try to reach different populations of riders. Don't put it in different counties because it's all virtual now, it's all online, but make efforts to make sure that different riders, groups of riders, different populations hear about this and have hearings where they can speak and be consulted and actually ask questions and have them answered. There's a lot of false things in this presentation. The claim is that only 447 people will have to take an extra transfer. That is just not true. It's based on misrepresenting the data. Getting rid of the hub of the entire bus system, getting rid of that hub and replacing it with mini hubs so that there's no central hub anymore. That's not just going to cause an increase in 3-seat rides. It's often going to mean that people who used to come into Kennedy Plaza now end up coming into a hub in the a mini hub in the jewelry district, and then they have to change to get to another bus to get to downtown Kennedy Plaza. So what used to be a 1-seat ride will become a 2-seat ride. Your statistics on the number of 3-seat rides don't really cover how many extra transfers there are, because a lot of people who don't have to transfer right now, just come into Kennedy Plaza, will be shunted way off to this deserted site on Dyer Street in an part of town that's deserted at night, a cramped place that's nowhere near as good as Kennedy Plaza, and then they'll have to transfer there, take a 2nd-seat ride to the downtown hub. So you're really understating the number of people who will be forced to take other transfers, even apart from the fact that your method for counting the number of 3-seat rides is flawed to begin with, as is partly addressed in the footnote there. This is marketed as a multi-hub plan. When we campaigned for the $35 million with transit bonds in 2014, that was a real multi-hub plan. That was adding hubs throughout the state. But this is actually, that was adding sub-hubs throughout the state, but this is actually depriving the state's transit system of its central hub. It's taking the heart out of the transit system and making it less convenient for everybody. There's a claim that it's going to make better connections with the train station. Totally false. Under this plan, more buses are going to be moved further away from the train station than will be moved closer. So it worsens the average bus's connection with the train station. It moves most buses not just further from the train, but further from most places that people want to be. The point is to move buses into the less desirable areas that are less desirable for riders, places that nobody else wants. And it's just a way to wreck transit. This is not what we were asking for. Don't call this a multi-hub. Don't call this a multi-hub plan. It's a no-hub plan. And they claim that this is going to be done in 2 years. We know it's going to make Kennedy Plaza better. That's the same thing they claimed for the construction project for 2009 in Kennedy Plaza, the construction project in 2014 that was supposed to be done this summer and ended up taking most of the year and continuing into 2015. They were all claimed to be shutting down the plaza temporarily and making it a much more wonderful place. They all failed. They didn't live up to the hype. They needed more time than planned. The one in 2009 even had to be redone in 2011. Why are they just using these same talking points again when we've had lots of experiences that whenever they claim they're going to make Kennedy Plaza a more wonderful place, it's really just an excuse because some influential people want the buses out of Kennedy Plaza. They don't care about transit. They don't care about making Kennedy Plaza better. It's like Trump just repeating the same lies over again. Why do we have to listen to the same tired script again? I think we can do a lot better than this. And finally, it is really insulting to say that we're going to move buses out of Kennedy Plaza because, quote unquote, coronavirus shows that we need less density. That's complete garbage. We've got a temporary crisis with coronavirus. It'll be over with soon, not going to be permanent, but any damage that you do to the bus system by breaking up the central hub and making a no-hub plan is going to be permanent. There's no transit case for getting rid of the central hub. It's just using coronavirus as another excuse for something that benefits a very small number of people who don't use transit and already have plenty of influence and refusing to take riders seriously. So I think this is a terrible idea, and certainly don't move the buses to the courthouse. I think it's really insulting that some people here have repeated Joseph Paolino's talking point that most bus riders want to go to the courthouse, or a lot of bus riders are going to the courthouse. We know that's false. Rhode Island transit riders did our own transit study. We found that only a tiny percentage of bus riders are going to the courthouse. Less than 5%, way less than 5% are going to the courthouse. Why is it that the people who are the public face of this are claiming that a lot of bus riders go into the courthouse when we know that's not true? Riders are not criminals. We're not going to the courthouse. There's no reason to put the bus hub next to the courthouse in a garage of all places. It's not where riders want to go. There's a reason why the hub is in Kennedy Plaza. It was put there because that's right next to a lot of places where riders actually want to go. The reason most riders don't transfer now is because the hub is in the right location. You want to move the hub to a wrong location, common sense says that's going to add time to bus trips. The buses are going to be on the road longer, causing more congestion for cars and others, and it's just going to mean that we are going to riders are going to end up in a place that's inconvenient for them and inconvenient for everyone else. So, like everyone else, I oppose this plan. Thank you.
Thank you.